What is up, everybody? We are live. This is FSP episode number 122.
Ooh.
And we got a lot to talk about today because Xbox is cooking. Lots to play in gaming in general. We're going to have some interesting discussions, too, about PlayStation here in a little while. And also, we want to take a look ahead at one of the craziest months in gaming coming up as well. So got a lot of stuff to discuss, but I want to thank everybody for being here in the chat. Hopefully you're enjoying some games, and thanks for taking the time to hang out with us on FSP. Appreciate you guys. Speaking of appreciation, I gotta say, give a big appreciation for Fuzzy and 3-Bit for always hanging out here on a Monday night when you could be doing whatever. You choose to hang out here with the Fun Spec fam for some podcasting goodness. Appreciate you guys. Well, hey, what's up, Fuzz? I saw you this morning on Boom Show.
Yeah. I'm just chilling, looking at some of the preview stuff as far as for Indiana Jones and enjoying what I'm seeing so far. Still playing Prey. Just kind of going through, getting the achievements and finishing that up. Still playing Forza Horizon 5. Actually going to post some of the pictures. I've over the years, I've taken a ton of pictures between all the Forza Horizon series and just haven't posted a lot of the pictures. So I'm going to start doing that on a little regular basis and stuff. And man, just enjoying gaming in general. Just looking forward to later this month. We got Flight Sim. We got Stalker 2. I guess Stalker 2 is like 160 gigs or 140
I think
gigs.
It's 148, I think is what they said.
Yeah, so I got to make space for that one because I definitely want to play that. Not sure if I'm gonna do PC or on console, but yeah, looking forward to that one. And Flight Sim, I already know I gotta do that on PC just because of hard drive space. Even with the little cards that I have, that would be half the card, and then I'd have Forza Motorsport on the other half of the card. So, but man, a lot to talk about tonight. Can't wait to get into some PlayStation stuff as well because my PlayStation, my PS5 over there is collecting a little bit of dust right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting conversation about that because there's some. I mean, this happens every month, but like, just I gotta say stuff because the amount that people talk is and how they talk about things, but versus the reality of the situation. So like, I gotta put things into perspective, right? But speaking of space, yeah, you're right. Flight Sim is going to be a fucking monster. Also,
Yeah.
So Stalker 2 and Flight Sim come out one day apart from each other. So that's like if you have a Series S, that's your space, right? If you have a launch Series S, that's what you got. You got Flight Sim and you got Stalker 2, pretty much. But speaking of that, one thing I've noticed today is Jez or Windows Central had a post saying that Western Digital actually finally came out with a 2 terabyte storage card, and it's like $200.
Yeah.
I know it's not cheap, but it's cheaper than the alternative one, the Seagate, I think. So finally, they have a bigger one. So if you're looking for more space, take advantage of that because you're gonna need it. Because holy crap, there's a lot of games. There's a lot of games.
That's like 2 Call of Duty games.
Yeah. Well, luckily, this Call of Duty. Like, if you just download the campaign and the multiplayer, it's like only like 80-something gigs comparatively to...
Oh, I must have installed like...
Yeah,
I don't know. Probably a lot.
Modern Warfare 3 mixed in there. And
they like condense their optimization somewhat. You know, it's like 40-something for the multiplayer, I think, and 40-something for the campaign.
I wonder why it defaults to like you download everything.
Because they want you to have your entire hard drive taken up by Call of Duty. Like,
they really do.
You're only playing Call of Duty, nothing else.
Pretty much, yeah. So they want you to have Warzone, they want you to have Modern Warfare 3, they want you to have all the content for all of them, you know. So like, if you do all that stuff, it's probably like 400 gigs, you know. But like, I think even Vanguard is on the launcher and something else too. So if you download everything in the launcher, yeah, you're fucked at first space for sure. You need to get one of those Western Digital cards in that case, right? But hey, 3-Bit, how's it going, man?
Pretty good, man. I was able to game a lot this week, so I played and beat the Starfield DLC. So That was awesome. I still have a ton of like side quests and things to do. So it's like, is Starfield ever finished? I don't think it ever will be for me, but it is cool that I was able to get through that DLC. It was very awesome. I didn't expect the story to go in that direction. Very cool. Without spoiling, I was able to beat RoboCop. Um, so now I'm just going down the list of things I need to beat and play, because I know by next year it's just gonna get crazier, and by the end of this year, it's already getting kind of crazy. So I'm trying to like kind of make a list like an internal list in my head of things I need to beat. And Yakuza is jumping up on that list again. So I beat Kiwami a while ago, and I was starting to play Kiwami 2. I hate jumping back into games like midway, because then you like have to remember how the mechanics work, and you're
Yeah.
like, so I might
How long can you stay away from a game before you forget everything?
Before I start forgetting, like maybe like at least a month.
Okay, for me it's like 3 days.
Really? Okay,
like-
actually, now I think about it's not a month. Maybe like at least a week or so.
Right. Like for me, like certain games I never forget. Like Halo, I like
Yeah,
the
Halo. I'm
mechanics
just
is like
I'm
muscle
chilling.
memory. It's like riding a bike, for most first person shooters because the controls are mostly the same and stuff. But if there's like a game that has like different controls, like for example, like Red Dead Redemption 2 or something, it
Oh,
was like what
yeah.
button to do? Like, yeah, it would take me a while to remember everything.
It's a struggle. Like that is why I got to the very end of Witcher 3 like several times. And then each time I'm like, this is too hard. Let me start over.
Right.
And it's a problem. But hopefully I'll remember all the Yakuza controls pretty easily. Because I feel like that's gonna be the next game. I still gotta beat Ace Attorney as well on Game Pass. I gotta beat that one. What else is on my list? There's a couple games. I have to try out Space Marine as well. I have not even touched
Oh,
that
you're
game.
gonna love that one, bro.
Yeah,
If
there's
you
just
like,
a ton.
that's you like skyboxes, right?
Yeah, I love
Space
Skybox.
Marine 2 is a skybox's lover's dream.
Shoot, then I won't beat that
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, you probably
I'll
won't.
just be
You're
staring
probably
at
gonna
the
get
sky.
murdered because you're gonna be looking at the just sometimes if you just stop playing and just like admire the
All of a sudden,
background off
someone
in
is
the
just like snaps my.
off in the distance, there's just like crazy stuff to look at and it's like gorgeous, man. Like
That's why it took me a while to beat Halo Reach, because Halo Reach had like really nice skyboxes, and I was like, whoa. And then like a grunt would come with like a suicide grenade and blow me up. I'm like, oh, come on. But yeah, it's been a good gaming week overall.
yeah, man. Well, it's good for both you guys to be here in chat. Thank you guys for being here as well. I see lots of familiar faces. Shout out to Talos Ray. We got Why So Serious. It's Timmy here hanging out. We got OCD Gamer, Cyber Gunter, Be Nice. Says, what's up, Mav? 3-bit, Fuzzy, Talos Ray. Just saying hi to everybody. I love when people talk to each other in the chat and they're cool. A shout out
Yeah.
to you.
People trying to throw tomatoes at me. But here's the thing. Here's a correction. I think this is not an Alabama hat. So you be throwing tomato at the wrong hat. I think this is Atlanta
You
Braves.
think?
I think.
yeah.
I might be wrong.
Yeah,
But it looks like a Braves.
I think it's a Braves hat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Steel Rain. Let's see who else we got here. Thatch. Shout out to Thatch. We got Berg Brizzle hanging out. My beautiful wife Caitlin is here as well.
Okay.
Brett Bingham played a little bit of COD yesterday. Let's see what else we got here. Matthew Gale. We got Danny Passion Official as well. E Ranks. Niternal. Coach Hooded
Good-looking
Canuck.
people.
Yeah, lots of amazing people. Love the community here. Absolutely awesome. We got Ray Oid here hanging out as well. Well, so something did drop today, and I think something else. Game on Jesse said that's an Alberta hat. Is it really? That's not an Alberta hat. Is that an Alberta hat?
What is Albert? Like, where is it?
It's in Canada.
Oh.
I don't think so. I don't think.
Trying to troll on me.
Yeah, maybe. something dropped today. Something else is dropping tomorrow. Tomorrow we're getting. I think it's a yeah. We're getting a look at South of Midnight. I believe tomorrow.
Yeah.
But today we were able to get a look at Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. And I gotta say, like, I've already been impressed by it when we've seen it in the past. Like, the last time we got like a in-depth look at it, was it at the Dev Direct or I can't remember when we saw the
Like last
more.
time we saw it.
Yeah, was it at Summer Showcase or
I
at
think
Dev
Summer
Direct?
Showcase. Yeah.
Oh, I think it was Dev Direct.
Mhm.
Maybe. Can't
Well, the
remember.
Dev Direct, yeah, that was when they also had like Square Enix and stuff next to it, right? Or am I thinking of? Yeah.
Yeah. Square Enix, the Square Enix, there was Avowed, I believe. There's Aura.
Yeah, because I'm just remembering the picture, like they had the orange picture of Indiana Jones, and then it zooms in, and then it's like, now let's take a look at Square Enix, what they're cooking up, and then it zooms in on.
Rob Dadon set the record straight. He said that's an Alabama hat.
What is it? Is it a
Crimson
Braves
Tide hat?
I thought it was a Braves hat, so it could go either way.
You just saw a hat with an A
not,
on it. You're like,
yeah. But it's, I think the Alabama hat and the Atlanta are really close, like in their logo. So I'm actually curious. I'm gonna look this up.
You're gonna look at what kind of hat do I have?
What hat is 3-Bit wearing on this screen?
I mean, I am not as big into college football, but like it looks like it could be a Crimson Tide hat.
But
Braves, the red is like more.
This is
red
actually crazy. The Atlanta Braves logo and the Crimson Tide logo are the exact same. I'm not even kidding.
No Rain said it's the Braves. It's got. I mean,
look. I encourage you guys to look up the Alabama Crimson Tide logo and then look at the Braves logo. Someone needs to sue somebody.
It's too bright red to be Alabama. Like because it's more maroon, like crimson color, right?
Yeah, but let me see.
And Atlanta's more red. Yeah, Brett Bingham says it's Atlanta Braves hat. That's what I had thought when I saw it. I always thought it was a Braves hat.
I did not realize how similar these logos are. This might actually be a Crimson Alabama.
No, it's too red.
No, okay. I stick with my first. This is Braves.
It's too like red.
Yeah.
You know, like I would think it'd be. I mean, it's possible, but yeah,
it looks very close though. Very close.
Still says it's different. Yeah. Anyway, we're getting derailed here. So yeah, it's Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Now I saw it again this morning, and I was like immediately blown away because it even looks better than it did last time we saw it. Right, like the animations, the faces, the voice acting again. Like Troy Baker just nails Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones, just insanely well. Like they started off with you gotta escape from this raising sand pit that's gonna crush you, and so you just the spirit that they've captured from this series is just absolutely awesome. And but it also looks technically impressive. But like a couple things. So originally, when we are all asking about what is this game going to be, and a lot of us were speculating, is it going to be a third-person game? Is it like it's different from machine games? But like, you know, it's Indiana Jones. How is it going to be different from the others and stuff? And then, you know, it's like, yeah, Machine Games makes first-person games. It was revealed that it was a first-person game, and some people were disappointed when they first heard that. Then we saw it for the first time, right? I was like, oh, wow, that actually looks really good. It makes sense, and it kind of gives people drawbacks to other great movie-based IP where you kind of play the character. A game like Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay, which was Starbreeze Studios, and the same founders founded Machine Games, so you have some of the DNA there, right? And you kind of saw that coming together, but even more so now, right? Like now with this showcase where they kind of showed it more of a deep dive on the gameplay and everything surrounding it, I kind of came away really impressed beyond what I was already excited for. So that's just my thoughts on it. I don't know how you guys feel, but we'll start with Fuzz. What did you think when you saw the gameplay deep dive?
I, Key things I wanted to see more of the melee or the hand to hand combat, and they definitely delivered on that. I love the aspect of being able to do a couple of different things, whether it's pick up stuff and hit them upside the head with a shovel, hit them with a bottle, whip the gun out of their hand, or just grip them up and punch them in the face, kind of thing. All of that looked awesome as far as the animations and things like that. I like the fact that it quickly switches to like the third person when you're doing like a swing with the whip and stuff like that, going across like gaps or trenches and things along those lines. Um, Love the puzzle aspect of it, where it's not going to be not throwing shade at a particular game where a certain sidekick always gives you like the solution for the puzzle, but like if you're struggling with the puzzle, break out your camera, take a picture of it, and it'll kind of get you to like rethink or go over, I guess, some of your notes as far as what the puzzle is pertaining to and things like that. So I like that it at least has like a fail safe if you get stuck or something like that. But like the aspect of like the quicksand and finding a way out and then hurrying up to get out of there before the quicksand follows you through. Yeah, I like all that stuff. And then occasionally you'll have NPCs help you. Like if you're climbing up something, it's like, hey, buddy, what do you do? Well, I forget what language he was. I guess he was saying in German, but wound up knocking the guy off the ledge afterwards. But just so many little details that they showed, and the fact that you're going to have like your notes or your notebook with all the like pictures, maps, all the little details and things that you've either already completed or things that you're still doing as far as side quests or your main task and things. I just love how it, like everything that they showed makes it feel like, yeah, you're in the movie and you're going to be able to keep tabs of where you're at so you don't get lost and things along those lines. But yeah, they showed a lot of good little details without giving away the whole story, I guess, today. So I was real enthused on what I saw and debating on if I'm gonna do the upgrade to do the 3-day early or not. I don't know. FOMO might hit me where I have to do the 3-day early, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I'll be. What do you get for the besides the early access for the upgrade this time? Like
Additional clothes, and then there was a few other like I guess things that you'll carry. Like I guess you get like different camera or different magnifying glass and stuff like that. Well, not magnifying glass, but like
the camera lens or
either camera lens or like binoculars or something along those lines. Like it's small things, probably not have to haves or necessities, but it would be kind of cool to see in like
not like a whole ass expansion you're gonna get when it comes out, right? Like I'll probably be content with waiting the few days for on that. But like overall, yeah, it's just I agree with a lot of what you said. Like I see some in the chat are talking about the combat and stuff like that. Like I don't know, this isn't like really a fast-paced combat kind of game. Like it's more so about thinking and kind of figuring out how to get through situations and stuff. It's meant. It seems like it's meant to put you in the perspective of like you are Indiana Jones, right? And so the things that we're seeing, the style of combat that there is, and the way that you're fighting is stuff that like Indiana Jones would actually do, right? He's not all of a sudden going to be some kind of like badass ninja or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Like overall it seems like it's going to have different elements of different pacing, and they also talked about some upgrade paths as well, as far as like you can upgrade different aspects to kind of focus on how you like to play as well. So overall there seems like multiple ways to handle situations, right? Depending on how you want to, but also that fits with the theme of you being the character,
Yeah.
right? And it's trying to put you in the, which I think they did really well, put you in the perspective of like you are indie, right? It's not like you're watching something happen and all this stuff. You are actually immersed into actually being Indiana Jones in the next great Indiana Jones like adventure and stuff. And that's what I feel like. It's almost like going on like a thrill ride where like or like Universal Studios thing where it's like you get to
Yeah.
be Indiana Jones or something, and like there's all these actors around you, and you go, "Oh, cool! I get to wear the hat, and I get to have the whip and the gun and stuff," and everybody's reacting like you get to actually be that and like have these like set pieces and stuff, and it's kind of carrying you through the story. It seems super engaging.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing I can ever say about a game is if it hooks you and engages you to make you want to keep going forward. But yeah, what'd you think about it, 3-bit?
I thought how cool it was that Indiana Jones was like it's basically a sim, like some people are saying in chat. Like you are Indiana Jones, and they've been embracing that within the mechanics of the game. So we know that Indiana Jones is basically like an improviser, right? He's not the like what Mav just said. He's not the macho guy where he comes in the room like like he'll do that,
He
and
ain't
then
Rambo, yeah.
yeah, like in Indiana Jones situation, he'll come with like a machine gun and be like and he's out of bullets, and he's like and then everyone's pointing guns at him, and he like dives off, and he has to figure out how to get out of that situation. And we kind of seen that in different like gameplay scenarios. I thought it was really cool how like they had this one scenario where he was getting ready to fight this guard. It was like in a snowy level, and he is looking around for something to grab. Like basically he shoves him or pushes him or something, and he's like, ooh, let me just instead of just outright going mano a mano with him, he's like looking around for something. He like finds like this object on the ground, I think it's like a shovel, and he wonks him on the head. That to me is like Indiana Jones. And I think it's really cool that they are hitting different aspects of it. Like they had a part where he can disguise himself, where he was like sneaking into some base, and he was like some sort of passer person. They also talked about like the upgrade mechanics as well, where it's like where he gets knocked out, and if you get like this upgrade, if you grab your hat,
Yeah.
you basically
It's
get
like a second life. Like you crawl to pick up your hat, and if you get your hat, then you get to get another chance.
which
Yeah.
is it's such a cool
Yeah.
ode to the movies, because how many times have we seen like Indiana Jones and he's looks like he's about to fail or something, and his hat is off, and he somehow succeeds, and then he puts that hat back on, right? It's like an iconic thing
Yeah.
of the character, which just goes to show you that these developers, they love the movies pretty clearly, and are implementing those mechanics in the game. Something I've seen a lot of previews do so far is talk about how this is like a stealth game through and through. And in an age where we are missing games like Splinter Cell and things like that, it makes sense for his character. It's actually really cool. But then you get moments like this where you are escaping this temple as it collapses. So it's not just there's like set piece moments as well. I remember in the first trailer they had like the airplane, the whole way he's jumping on top of an airplane, he's doing all this stuff. So there's set piece moments, but there also seems to be, from what people have been playing, a lot of cool like stealth moments as well. And I do like when it pulls out, when you're able to go into like third person mode, and then when it goes to first person, and the punches look really impactful. It's really hard to do first person combat like in general. And I think how they've been solving that with like you can like hold on to the guy and like kind of just punch him in the face is a really good solve, rather than like the other way, right? If you were just to just do a melee first person game, you just be like "Da, da, da, da," and just spam punches till someone's knocked out, right? Which is not really Indiana Jones. He tends to get beat up in a lot of his encounters and just barely makes it. So it's cool that it looks like they're introducing scenarios where you have to think. So if there's like 10 guys in a room, you have like 2 bullets. Obviously, you can't shoot all of them. So maybe you knock down the scaffolding that they'll put around the environment to make it feel like you knocked them all out. Maybe they'll give you like certain things to distract the guard and things like that. I don't know. I think it's really smart. And it's going to be really up to the level design and how they handle that. And these are the people who kind of mastered that with Chronicles of Riddick. So if you guys liked the Chronicles of Riddick and how they handle, I loved it. I loved how they handled like the stealth back then and how they made you feel like you're Riddick. This is like another character interpretation that they're kind of handling. So the whip mechanics were cool. We seen moments where you can use it in a multitude of ways. Like you can snap a gun out of someone's hands. Like this guy was about to shoot Indy, and a guy used the whip and then knocked the gun out. I could see scenarios where you can do that and just pick up the gun and then shoot the guy. Seen it used in scenarios where you can where you can like swing around in the environments. Like he was like creeping around the corner of this one environment. I like how they're thinking about the whip as like an extension of who Indy is as well. So
Yeah.
I'm an Indiana
Makes
Jones
the
fan, so
character.
I could go on. I'm obviously hyped for the game, but I think just in general to kind of close out Machine Games, just the way they've handled it, I'm glad they handled it in this direction, because I said like before the show, like the amount of like toxic comparisons this game would have had if it was anything kind of similar to Uncharted, where people just would discount the game because it's like, oh, this is just an Uncharted clone, even though Indiana Jones is, the OG. I'm glad that they've embraced their DNA as a studio, Machine Games. Like they are really good at these kind of set piece and this kind of time period. They're really good at first person. If you like Chronicles of Riddick and Wolfenstein, like this is their thing. Like this is something they're really good at. So looking forward to their interpretation.
I have actually a couple of questions actually for you 3-bit, like from more of like the game dev side, because a couple things stood out to me when I was watching this showcase. Was the graphics overall were really impressive, right? You got facial animations, you have the just the detail on the characters, but specifically a couple things. Textures, like getting materials and stuff to look real to the type of material that they are, like leather versus like a dull metal helmet versus like the cloth and different kinds of cloth. And it stood out to me as like, wow, this is like really impressive how the different materials all look very specifically like accurate, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of games get this wrong and have for a long time. But this one seems to do it like exceptionally well, like to where the clothes look more realistic, and because of that than I've seen in most games.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was specifically the lighting, because we saw numerous times where the shadows, like if you pay attention to the shadows and the way the light's playing in the different environments, which shout out to them also, there's like multiple biomes. So you have jungle, you have like Arctic,
snow,
right? You have like
yeah.
desert, right? You have all these different kinds of areas, but specifically the lighting in each of these different areas. Like I noticed how the shadows are playing off of each other depending on where the light's moving to. Like if you have a torch, you set it down, all of a sudden all the shadows are changing in the environment. Rays coming through areas and stuff, like you can see here. The lighting looked really impressive, and the textures.
Yeah.
Is anybody else notice this, or was it just me when I was watching? And I'm not like a fidelity snob or anything like that, but in a game like this, I think it makes a big difference because it's more of an immersive experience, right?
Yeah, they definitely nailed the atmosphere, and the one spot where they show them going through like cobwebs with like a light. I think they nailed a lot of that environmental stuff. It gives that real immersion feel. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think it is hard to do certain things like cloth and like there's this. It really is down to lighting. Like you can have kind of okay textures and stuff like that, but if your lighting is if your lighting is really good, it can either hide a lot or it can enhance a lot. And I think whoever is doing the lighting in this game have studied the movies and they're really relying on their concept artists. And the reason why I say that is because whenever you're building out an environment, like let's say you're doing it for Halo or Indiana Jones or any other game, the concept artists are actually really important to that whole process because it dictates the feeling overall of like how well should this environment be lit, and it gives there's so many different areas in this game, right? You're outside, you're like in the snow and stuff like that, and all those will have different ways of the light bouncing off of the floor, your clothes, and things like that. And I think the Machine Games, if you look at their previous stuff for like Wolfenstein, they would have kind of really good skin textures in the past,
Mhm.
and they would have really exaggerated like expressions on characters and stuff. And I think they're just really carrying over their experience from each Wolfenstein that they've learned, of like, because it's not like hyper realistic, right? It's like a little bit of like it's like almost like an exaggerated style, but it's
Yeah.
also realistic at the same time. It's like it's like a really good weird blend, that I think really works here. But I think it's just a mixture of them listening to the concept artists, them just really paying attention in each one of these environments, making it feel lived in. Like this environment right here is super cool. There's in like a pipe room, but what makes it kind of cool is at the top there's like snow kind of coming in with smoke and stuff like that. Like that makes a huge difference. Just imagine if that was just a regular pipe room and there's no light at the top. That would just change the environment in
I,
general.
I just noticed on that clip he actually just slapped the guy. He didn't actually
Mhm.
use
Yeah.
it. Did you notice the open fist? I got to rewind that right here. He just he
Yeah,
just slapped the
just
shit
like
out of him. That just caught me off guard. I thought it was a punch the first time I was watching, but
no,
not this
I
guy,
seen
but the
that the
next
first
one.
one.
Yeah.
Oh no, not this guy either. It's
This
the next
one's
one.
cool too.
It's
This
the
Yeah.
next one.
Boop.
yeah, he
Slap.
slapped. That would throw somebody off.
They're like, did you just
Yeah.
slap me in a fist fight?
That would confuse the heck out of me. Like, what? You slapping me?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was cool. Like, I like how you can like bring someone in too. Like, I've noticed they're using the whip like in this. Like, I love this.
Yeah, this looks
It's so
fun,
cool.
man. The way
Like
the
this
guy falls, like,
scenario.
whoa, whoa.
Yeah, it's so cool.
It's exaggerated kind of the way a lot of this stuff is exaggerated kind of the way it is in the movies too, because
Mhm.
like in those movies they're meant to be like a little bit of humor in the action scenes and stuff, and like so you'll see somebody like and like fall
Yeah.
over and like and dumb stuff like that, like a bottle smash on the head and then they like just
You
go stone
know.
face for a second before they fall, right? Just stuff like that, like classic scenes throughout Indiana Jones, and that's something like as small as it sounds, but even you notice like these little things, even in these fights, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
this
and this
little
is the
extra little
hat,
detail
the
of
hat thing.
exaggeration.
Yeah. Crawl
Yeah,
back to
he's
your hat.
yeah, oh, I can live again because I got my hat. Yeah, here we go. You're done for, man.
And this one too, where you're able to like take down enemies like quicker if you get that upgrade. So I wonder how many upgrades are in the game to begin with. Like that's cool that they showed us too, but I'm sure there's a lot more that they're kind of hiding until people get to actually play it. But super cool,
Yeah,
man.
man.
I'm super impressed graphically. Like I've seen people in the comments say something to the effect like, "Does this game look better from the first time
It
we've
does.
seen it?" And I think so. Yeah, I think it does look better. It's probably going to look even better by the time we get to play it.
Yeah.
Did they say what this was running on? Like, if it was running on PC or Xbox? Like, it doesn't really matter to me because I'm gonna play it probably on
I'm not
both. But
sure what did they use the ID engine or let me see. It might be Unreal.
Yeah, not
I can't
sure.
remember what engine they use for it, but I would hope that they're showing this on like the series consoles just to kind of, and knowing Xbox these days, this is probably what it looks like a
Yeah,
direct
it's the ID.
copy
It's
of
the
that.
ID tech.
They're
Nice.
showing the spring version on the PS5 Pro version right here is what it is. No, it's but like
Yeah,
see the dull metal on the helmets of the Nazis and stuff. It's like even that like looks more real than I've seen. The watch on that guy's wrist and stuff, like
Yeah.
just his shirt right there. This shirt looks completely different than any other material in the game.
Yeah.
It was just something that kept standing out to me when I was watching. I was like, wow, they actually made these materials look realistic to the
they paid
kind that
attention
they
to it
are.
because you can keep things default. Like if you're in a gaming engine,
Mhm.
there are like sort of default materials. Like let's say I'm trying to not nerd out too much, but if you're like in Maya or anything, there's a material that's called Lambert. It's kind of like something that is, think of the less shiniest thing you have in your house. It's kind of like that. It's like a gray material.
Mhm.
And then Unreal Engine has like properties like that, and you kind of tweak the what's called the specular lighting, so how shiny something is. So like your clothes aren't as shiny as something like a bottle or something like
Mhm.
that, right? And whoever is actually like, you see the when he wiped the wall, like that was really
Yeah.
shiny. Like whoever's paying attention, whoever the texture artist is, like props to them, because they're really paying attention to like the details of how light is hitting these objects, because it really shows, like even in that last part where he's whipping the fire across the floor, and then the floor was kind of like sparkling a little bit from that like heat. Super cool, like little details
Okay.
like that. They are really paying attention to everything, but it looks like they're using the ID Tech engine, Mav.
Okay.
So very cool.
Yeah. And so we're gonna get this, and then Doom Dark Ages is gonna look amazing next year as well,
Yeah.
using that. Man, it's almost like it's a great thing that Xbox bought those studios or something.
Nah,
Yeah.
I disagree.
Huh? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, well, that's Indiana Jones, man. I'm like, I was super impressed with even more so than I was the last couple times we saw it. That's right. I think at the summer showcase we got the choo choo motherfucker thing, right?
Yeah.
We got
Oh
the choo 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 choo, right? And then
yeah.
and
Yep.
then before that, the first time we got to look at it was a different set piece scene. Was at
Mhm.
the Dev Direct. So this is the
Yeah.
third kind of in-depth look, and coming around the corner, December 9th, Spider-Man. Yes, you are correct. Spider-Man 3 5 6 accurate, saying that it's 60 frames per second, which has already been announced, and I believe it's 60 frames on the Series S as
Yep.
well.
Yep.
They confirmed, which is pretty damn awesome. Speaking of also, Death
Table
Stranding
box.
is also 60 frames on both the Series S and the Series X, which just hit, and people are really
Yeah.
impressed with how that looks on the Series S. Which I mean, that
Yeah.
was a last generation game, so it should look great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Looks
it's
good.
better than a PS4, and all that kind of stuff, right? So,
I've been playing
um,
that. I forgot to say that in the intro. I played a
yeah,
couple
you
hours.
liking it?
I am. Yeah. I think the menu system is kind of crazy when you first get started with it. Like there's a lot to try grasp your mind around, because it's all about putting packages on your back, and then you have to figure out the weight distribution so you're not leaning while you're running over. um so that part's a little crazy. And it's a Hideo Kojima game, so I was mentioning on PXE last night where I'm like, yeah, you're your weapons, you do have weapons in the game, and you are using your own bodily fluids. So you're
Oh,
using
right.
your shower water to defeat enemies.
Oh, okay.
This is true. This is in the game. Like I'm not even
I wasn't sure which bodily fluids you were going with.
this is just whatever is on your body. This is classic Hideo Kojima. Really
Yeah.
weird stuff, but yeah, it's not for everybody. But it's very like, it's about travel and connection. So most of the game you're just walking from point A to point B, and you're just delivering packages. What's interesting about it is how you get there. Because you'll have people try and stop you from delivering packages. You'll have these weird creatures like pop up, and you have to like hold your breath, which is kind of cool. Like you have to like hold your breath, and you have like this baby attached to you, so it kind of warns you when things are around. So a lot of like unique mechanics that aren't in other games. But what the reason why I say it's not for everyone, because at the end of the day, you're just kind of walking from point A to point B. So if that's not for you, then it is what it is. But overall, I've been having a pretty good time with it. I think I'm like 2 hours in.
Right on, man.
3 hours in.
Well, let's get into that. That's a decent segue into the next conversation, because we're talking about Xbox players playing a PlayStation game now. But something I noticed, some fan base I noticed isn't really playing PlayStation games, is actually PlayStation fans. As loud as they've been over the last several years about how the games are the best here over on PlayStation, and how all the games matter, is these great ones that we're getting, and we had so many exclusives this year. Everything's been amazing, and Xbox actually has all these other games they've been releasing this year. But they do these Circana reports every month with like the weekly charts, right? And they pretty much stay somewhat consistent. They go up and down a little bit and stuff, right? But this is so consistent with one aspect here that I gotta like bring it to light, okay? Because nobody is actually really mentioning this very much about the state of the games on PlayStation, right? As much as people champion the games that are exclusive on PlayStation, I have to know, why the fuck don't PlayStation players actually play the games? I'm going to bring this screen up, and let's see here. Yeah, here we go. So here we go. This is week ending November 2nd. Okay, player engagement tracker. All right, this is something that comes out pretty frequently. Matt Piscatella always shares this and stuff, right? Now, you would think Silent Hill 2, was recently praised. You think Astrobot would be there. You would think, well, Concord's gone, so that can't be there. What are some other, like Stellar Blade, right? All these great exclusives that they've claimed to have this year, and praise is like why it's superior than everything else. But yet, here we go, another week where we see one game that was actually popular and produced by PlayStation, that is an ongoing game that is still successful, Helldivers 2. Mm-hmm. Last week it ranked number 2 on PC. This week it ranks number 4. It is doing gangbusters on PC, right? That is the most successful game they've released in a long time. However, look over at the PlayStation side on the actual player charts and how much time people have been spending playing these games. Another one would be nice is, Black Myth Wukong. Where are they? I see one first-party game on the PlayStation list, and that's MLB The Show 24, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. So we're going to count Xbox-owned franchises, and we're going to count PlayStation-owned franchises as who's what are PlayStation games spending more time playing this holiday season so far. Well, Call of Duty, obviously, that's the number one game.
You count Xbox first?
On PlayStation. Yeah, that's how this is on PlayStation. So Call of Duty number 1, obviously. Mm-hmm. Let's see, we got Minecraft is number 9. Overwatch is number 14. And we got MLB The Show 24, right? So that's 3-1. PlayStation gamers play Xbox games and Xbox and Microsoft owned franchises more than they do the touted exclusives that they so cherish and everything. So overall, and the reason I bring this up because you would expect Helldivers, massive success, to be on the list.
Yeah.
Why is Helldivers 2 not on this list? It's number 4 on PC. Last week it was number 2. It's a highly successful, amazing multiplayer game that they don't play. Astrobot, we got the numbers for, sold 1.5 million. I'm sure it's around what they expected or whatever. But overall, it's not there, and it's not too far off from when it was released.
Yeah.
Where's the PlayStation gamers in general are not spending time playing PlayStation games. They're spending time playing third-party games.
Yep.
And
It just goes. Yeah, go ahead.
The reports, the engagement trackers, all this stuff. This is not an opinion. This is the numbers. This is the statistics. This is what's happening. But why? Helldivers 2. Why aren't they playing Helldivers 2?
We don't want to.
They're not even playing Destiny 2.
Yeah, you think at least Destiny.
That's Destiny's not even on the list. You're right. Oh no, it is. It is. No, it's on Steam. Never mind. It's not on the. You're right. It's on Steam, but it's not on the PlayStation side.
Yeah.
It's almost
Dead
like going
Island
to 2? PC was a good idea.
Dead Island 2 is higher than Astrobot and Silent Hill and Black Myth Wukong and Helldivers 2.
And Dead Island is in Game Pass right now, along with MLB.
No, that Fuzzy.
But they don't like
a game. A game
services.
can't be in Game Pass and be successful. We've learned from this. If you're in Game Pass, you can't be successful.
I just don't understand. On Xbox, Destiny 2 is more popular than it is on PlayStation.
Yeah. I guess they don't like shooters other than Call of Duty.
Is that it? They don't like shooters?
And Call of Duty and Fortnite. That's as far as it goes.
I mean, these lists are pretty consistent, but like I just kind of get surprised every time I look at it. Like, where are all of the PlayStation games? Spider-Man MLB The Show is technically first party because they own the rights to the show. They own the rights to that IP, but they MLB forces the publishing from their side to Xbox. So and that was due to a new deal that they had created when it was time to re-up their license with PlayStation, that they wanted their game to go everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, PlayStation doesn't own MLB, but they own the show. So it is technically a first-party game, but on Xbox, it's published by a third-party publisher, which is MLB.
Yeah. It's
confusing.
If I was like an executive at Sony and I seen this list, like that would make me even more obliged to put things on PC day one. Because look at this list. Their only first party game, and this is like consistent. This is yes, this is November, but we've been seeing this like quite
like
a
the
bit,
week a
right?
game comes out, it usually will make their list, right? But like 2 weeks later, it starts to fall towards the bottom, and then 3 weeks later, it's like gone.
Yeah,
right.
If I was this a Sony executive, I would look at this list and be like, why wouldn't I start just putting my games on PC? And you wouldn't if you were just to follow the PlayStation peeps out there, you would think Astrobot must be doing very well. You would think that these franchises, these bangers, these premium games that Sony is touting are selling gangbusters. There's no way Xbox could be successful because things are in Game Pass. It's the rental service, right? And that's kind of a lot of people's mentality. But when you look at lists like this, it makes you realize how smart Xbox was in the franchises that they've been acquiring over the years. Like they'll get backlash over certain things. Like, why would you want Minecraft? And why acquire this or that? Most of this list we're looking at, and I say this all the time, most PlayStation games, the top played PlayStation games are Xbox own first party titles. So it's a Trojan horse. It's stuff we've been talking about. Like Xbox has a Trojan horse of franchises on the PlayStation. Like the top games on here, number one, Call of Duty, of course, right? But then you get to other franchises like Minecraft being on there, and then even on the Xbox side, you start seeing a lot of their franchises. Like at least you see several first party IPs on the Xbox rank side. But if I was an executive that works at Sony, I would be like, we have one first party title on here, MLB The Show, and the one that is successful, Helldivers 2, is more successful on the PC side of things. Why wouldn't I look at that and see the money that is contributing? And you think I would look at this list and be like, nah, we're still going to stay with consoles? Like, no, I would look at this list and be like, well, dang, Helldivers 2 is selling pretty well on PC, not even topping the top 10 on our actual console. So why wouldn't I want to start investing in PC? So it's like the statements, it's almost like the statements that Hiroki Totoki has been making lately about expanding out. It makes sense because none of their first party games they might be very good, but even if it's super good, will it sell well? Because it doesn't. I mean, we keep seeing this pattern of games like, oh yeah, they're going to be super good and stuff, and it doesn't sell very well, or maybe not to their expectation. And I think the modern day thing that people need to start doing is look at what kind of game you are and figure out how you need to expand your audience. Like if you are Concord, there's no reason why that game should have came out. And look at the market of some of the games that's even on this list, and they're free and you're charging people because why?
Well, that's
it's
another
a model. That's a whole other model, or that's a whole other point of conversation.
Some of the most played games that PlayStation gamers are playing are part of the subscription on Xbox, but they have to pay for them on PlayStation. But they still see Xbox as having inferior games, even though that's the games they play the most.
Yeah, but that's because that's their ecosystem of, people are going to be comfortable within their ecosystem, so that they could spend $70 for Call of Duty on PS5, while people at Xbox have Game Pass, and that's why Xbox wins in both scenarios.
Just thank God for Arrowhead that they launched Helldivers 2 on PC.
Yep.
No, otherwise it'd have been like another Foam Stars, right? Like,
so why do you guys think that? Why do you think this is happening? Is it just because Xbox has been getting a lot of the top franchises, and it just the apples have fallen really well for them, or do you think that it comes down to Sony's strategy? Like, why do you guys think that we keep seeing the first party Sony games not like keep falling out of because we'll see them sometimes, like it'll like be on there when a game releases or something like that. Like you might see like a Spider-Man 2 or something like that, but
yeah,
I think more consistently what we've seen is Sony like kind of most of their first party IPs can fall out of the tracker while Xbox continues to dominate their own totals. Like, why do you guys think that is?
I think it's just when it comes to their single player games, with them being so heavily focused on single player games, they only have a shelf life of a couple of weeks to a couple of months, and then the casual audience that seems to be gravitating towards PlayStation goes back to their old habits and goes back to their favorite games like your Call of Duties, your Fortnite, your Madden, or the NCAA football, stuff like that. So it's going to be an uphill battle because they've kind of trained their fan base to really like these movie games. And other than the big AAA, already massively successful multiplayer games, they've been trained to look the other way against those. But the casuals that play Call of Duty, they are always going to play Call of Duty until there's no Call of Duty, or until somehow, some way, Battlefield steps up even more, or there's something even bigger and better out there. But I don't foresee that happening anytime soon. But it was funny. I was looking at the list, noticed that Forza Horizon 5 is charting for Xbox, but there's no Gran Turismo charting for PlayStation. And it's funny at this point, considering how old the game is. Maybe it should be in PS Plus. I know that there was some buzz about a free version of it coming about. I don't know if that's because it's going to PC or they're trying something different, but they did something similar to Drive Club with it being like a PS Plus version that was like a condensed version with only a couple of cars and a couple of tracks and stuff. But I'm kind of surprised that GT7 isn't charting. Yes, I know racing games are niche, in a lot of people's eyes, but those same people don't seem to think that platformers are niche, and they are. And we don't see Astrobot on that list either. I mean, great, it sold 1.5 million copies. It's right around where Ratchet and Clank was early within the first 2 years of the PS5 gen. It did it in less time. But that's PlayStation is going to have to figure out a way to keep their players playing the games that they buy. Like, some good examples, although they didn't pan out, was with Ghost of Tsushima. They had like a multiplayer, add-on that was free. There's the roguelike, mode that was added to, God of War Ragnarok. And those don't seem to click. Like, they're the enthusiasts like those additional modes and things like that, but the casuals, it hasn't appealed to them yet. So I don't know if, this is just strictly opinion, but had Days Gone been allowed to make a Days Gone 2 and then have almost like a knockoff of Call of Duty Zombies, where you have a multiplayer like Horde Rush kind of thing, or maybe a Left 4 Dead mode, I think that would have resonated a bit better on PlayStation or with their player base. And it would be, possibly in the top 15 or maybe in the top 20. But we'll never know because it doesn't look like there's ever going to be a Days Gone 2. If GT7 wasn't made as grindy intentionally as it was, where it's easy to earn cars in Forza Horizon, and I think that's what people like about it, because they can hop in, get the cars that they want, or get close to the car that they want, modify it, and have fun with their friends. I think if there was more of that aspect, although I know they're going more for the sim angle with GT7, but make it so cars are a little bit easier to obtain, and maybe you would have a little bit better, charting power, I guess, amongst your player base. There's also a segment of PlayStation fans that are asking for Killzone. Me personally, I don't foresee it. I mean, I was more of a PlayStation guy, from PS3 era, but I could care less about Killzone. But I think one thing that they do need to listen to their fan base is with Bloodborne. At this point, if they're going to be all about remasters, that's one that should have been at top of the list. At least for the current one, make it 60 frames or something like that. but then go back to, From Software and see if they can't make you, a sequel or something. That would make a lot of sense, especially considering how popular those types of games are these days, and they seem to do significantly well on PlayStation. I don't know why they don't make a Bloodborne 2 or a sequel or a remaster or director's cut or whatever you want to call it. I think that's something that they should consider, but it's as we've seen with them going from 10 or 12 games as a service and then cutting that in half, and then hearing that some of that half were even canceled and Concord not going
How
very
many is
far
left
after.
at this
Yeah.
point?
It's like Fair Game, I know, is still in the works. Supposedly Ben Studios has a games as a service in the works. I don't know. Maybe if they do, like, if there's any truth behind that sci-fi that Barlog is working on, or maybe it's Naughty Dog or whomever, maybe they'll figure out a multiplayer that might get people engaged in that, or knock on wood, Last of Us 3, maybe they actually realize their mistakes and canceling factions and figure out a way to incorporate factions into the Last of Us 3. Something to at least keep their players playing the game. Like, even if they beat the story or the campaign, let's say, something that they can come back to, even if they're just screwing around with. And then that will be something that you can monetize off of them by offering different skins or offering season passes or something along those lines. I mean, Sony has to figure out what has been working for almost everybody else in the industry that they have yet to really tap into. About their closest successful games as a service has been MLB The Show with their card packs and things like that. But it doesn't seem like they're pushing for more things along those lines. They seem to be happy taking their 30% cut off of 2K, NBA 2K or WWE 2K and stuff like that. So
That's not a long-term move, though. Like,
yeah,
I think it's hard for me to tell like Sony what to do because they're not on the same level as Microsoft in terms of money and finances and stuff like that, and their business plan isn't the same. But I think some ways they could at least start establishing a precedence with your franchises, like start adding in multiplayer. Like, there's no reason why you need to start downplaying multiplayer in games where it could be a hit. It could, there's something that could be there. Like, I think people have a pretty high standards for a game like Gears of War and Halo compared to huge franchises from Sony. Like, when we get a Sony franchise, like, it's always multiplayer is secondary. We might get it in a future patch or maybe never. It might be announced and we may never see it. But with if Xbox ever did that with a Halo or Gears, we'd never hear the end of it. Like, what? Gears doesn't have a multiplayer mode? Like, what? Like, there's an obvious expectation because Xbox has been delivering multiplayer type experiences for a long time, almost since its inception, and they've gotten really good at it over time. And I think Sony has been doing what kind of works for them, which is deliver like really good single player experiences. But now it seems like they're really honing in on what they think really works for them right now, and kind of just pushing away everything else. So I know there is new leadership and stuff at Sony, so I do wonder like what Special Nick I think was saying in chat, like Killzone and a bunch of these franchises that people want to see return, where it does make sense for you to return with some sort of model. Like, if they want to do live service games, I mean, there's several ways they can enter that market. And Xbox has kind of been known to do like really well known like multiplayer things. I think Sony just needs to adapt their model a little bit in order to get what they're kind of looking for. I mean, Helldivers 2, I remember they started to use that in like their board meetings of like, look, this is super successful. Let's try to force people to let's put the PSN plus, make it like a mandatory thing. And they were like using that game as like an example of success, like a success metric for them. Which just goes to show you like they can see the tea leaves, like they can see how something could be successful if they really did like go for it. But I don't know. I guess live service games are hard. It's why they bought Bungie in the first place. They're like, let's buy Bungie so we can get the knowledge of multiplayer live service games. Didn't really work out for them, in my opinion, for a multitude of reasons. But I could tell they want to do it, but I feel like they're very hesitant on a lot of fronts. Like we seen the Spider-Man multiplayer gameplay. It looked fun. It would have done well. Would have done better than Concord. I could say that without needing to read anything or like just upfront. That would have done better than Concord.
Yeah.
So
And
up to them.
these are the US charts also, right? So like if you were to say this is the whole world or whatever, yeah, it would be like you could say that, well, number 7 for PlayStation is going to be drastically larger than number 7 for Xbox, right? Or whatever. But being that these are just US charts, it's closer in the US to maybe 60-40 or so, or like maybe even closer to 50-50. I'm not sure what the US numbers are, but it's a lot closer than if you just do the global right reach for it. But overall, I think it's just like an enigma, man. Because like before, if you asked me, like you're saying, Fuzz, about like them being trained to like single player games, but like if you look at the list of all the games on their top 15, it's like mostly multiplayer. Like it's Call of Duty, Fortnite, GTA, which is for GTA Online. Let's just be real, right? NBA 2K25 for the My Park, probably for the most part. Roblox. Like, I mean, you can just go down the list
too.
Yeah, I mean, almost all the games are multiplayer focused, right? Even Dead Island 2, which makes the list, is co-op.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, I look at it and I'm like, how? Like, the biggest enigma for me is how is Helldivers 2 not there? When you have all these other multiplayer games in the top 15. And even on PC, which is a way more competitive space with tons more popular multiplayer games, tons more of everything, Helldivers 2 is staying in the top 5. Like, how does that happen with such a popular IP, but it's irrelevant to PlayStation gamers for the most part? It's just strange to me. Because it would seem like that's one to be celebrated and like champion. Like this is our great multiplayer franchise, right? But like I said, even Destiny doesn't make the list here.
Yeah,
like it's just strange to see like week in and week out the same kind of thing. And overall, I was trying to think about why, right? And every answer I try and come up with, I come back with, well, but this is what the list shows, so it doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense. The only thing I can think of is this. PlayStation is just if you just, hey, I'm going to buy a new game console, PlayStation's the number one name, that's what I'm going to get, and I play these most famous popular multiplayer game names, and that's what I usually play. I don't pay attention to anything else, really. I don't really care. Right? That's just where I'm at. And these are the games I play. And so that's what I'm going to keep doing. Right? And I think that shows up here on the list. And I think if you look at all these Twitter warrior, console warrior things and games media, all the conversations about this and that, that's good for them for like image. Right? Which helps them to be that box that people go by for all this other stuff. But the mass majority of PlayStation gamers just honestly don't really give a shit about all those other games. Otherwise, they would be there. Otherwise, they would all sell. But even if they're getting 9s or whatever, for the most part, they're not even cracking the list on the player counts.
Yep.
So
It's
I don't
just
know. It's just strange. I just wanted to have a discussion about it because like that's something that Sony's trying to fix.
Yeah.
This is why they had the games of service initiative and they wanted to do all that stuff, right? But the only games of service game that they actually came out with that ended up being successful, even from their third party partnerships, is Helldivers 2, which is off the list on PlayStation, but it's still doing well on PC.
Yeah, and I was the one that, well, like when I heard that PlayStation wanted to do that initiative and it was held by Jim Ryan or whatever, I actually agreed for the most part, because I was like, well, Xbox has so many different avenues of like releasing games. I remember we looked at something where like Elder Scrolls alone is making like what 500 million or something. That's just one franchise no one talks about, no one even thinks about it that to that extent, right? Of like a Call of Duty or something, but that is just making money. It's just making bank for them, and that's just one franchise they own. Sony doesn't really have that, so I actually agreed with Jim Ryan's thing. It was like, we need to start like scrap what you're doing, make some multiplayer live service type games, because once you beat like a single player game, like, okay, like how many people are returning? I'm sure you get some fans who like really love your game, they might replay it a couple times or something, but there's no recurring revenue there with a single player story based God of War type game. You play it and it's over. But when you get a game like Halo Infinite or something where you can buy maybe a skin here, skin there, it's like you buy the game and then there's other incentives in there to get extra revenue. That is why multiplayer live service games are more profitable, because, and that's why you should have offered Concord for free, by the way, because
I don't
there's
even know if it would have mattered at this point.
it would it probably
Maybe
wouldn't
it
have
helped a
mattered, but
little
it would
bit.
have helped. It
Yeah.
definitely would have helped. Like the beta had more players than the actual game launch.
Yeah, they had
So
like 1,000 almost.
it would have did something. But yeah.
It's just an interesting conversation. I like, yeah, PlayStation is, I think, a good console, right? I think they make great games. I'm not as interested in a lot of their big marketed franchises like the God of Wars and Horizon and stuff like that, right? But it's just weird to have that be the identity for a platform in which they don't play consistently. Like, you know what I mean? The one and done thing is like it's true, but even with Helldivers 2, they treated it the same way.
Yeah.
Right?
And
Yeah, and
there-
that's should be the, we say the games of service initiative and all the stuff, though, like, why is that one like, it just why Helldivers 2 is not more popular on console, on PlayStation, I can't tell you, 'cause it's a fucking great game, right? I don't know.
yeah, there's a lot of
Don't be able to
to
understand
be
that.
fair, I love a lot of Sony games. I love God of War, Ragnarok. Love that game. I had my beef with Atreus for always telling me how to solve missions, but I don't, outside of that,
Look over
I mean,
here.
I'm like, no, I'm trying to shut up. I
Hey,
love
dad,
Last
maybe
of
if
Us.
you hit this switch right here, it'll do something interesting.
Like they don't even give me the opportunity. I walk in the room, it's like, here's how you solve this puzzle. Like, shut up, son. Shut
Follow
up.
me, dad. I know everything.
It's so annoying. Oh gosh, that was the most annoying thing of God of War. But I just want them to look at stuff that Xbox is doing, look at other things, and really incentivize people to want to stay on your game with like multiplayer features and stuff. It feels like put all their effort into the single player portion, which people love, I love, and then they stop there because it works for
Yeah.
them. So I just want
This is
better.
100% too. Like, for all the conversation, it just turns out to be that's just what it is, conversation. Because if the list wars didn't exist,
Yeah.
then we would just all accept the fact that PlayStation gamers play Xbox games more than PlayStation games. And that's just what the actual numbers say. So for whatever it's worth, that's just the reality. Speaking of games to play, though,
Yeah.
man, I've been looking ahead, right? Because it's already crazy, right? We got Flight Sim and Stalker 2 coming right around the corner. I'm already up to my knees in games that I can't finish, and I want to keep spending time in. And Black Ops has me more or less hooked on that. But then just a few months after, or a couple months after Indiana Jones releases in December, is February, hot around the corner. And wow, Avowed had delayed to February because it was too packed, is what they said. Like, we got to find space for our games and stuff, right? But looking at the list for February, I just want to read off these games all in 1 month. And we called it that when Avowed said they were going to move to February. Like, there's going to be a ton of games announced for February. This is like crazy because like it's just going to be even more packed, and I think it is. But the list, I'm calling it "Fuck Me February" because I don't know what to do. And I had the list here. Hold on, I got to go back through my feed. I posted this the other day or yesterday, I think, because I was just looking at it. Here we go. So on the 11th of February, we have Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So you got
forgot about that game.
A couple months to finish the first one, guys, and it's a big game.
Yeah.
Right?
Dang, I
So-
just bought that game.
It's a really impressive medieval hardcore RPG that's like good story, like just really cool game, right? Sequel, which looks absolutely amazing, comes out on the 11th of February. And I didn't put every game here. There's other games, obviously, that are big, like the Lost Tapes game that's coming. Lost Tapes Bloom and Rage looks really cool. I think that one maybe even coming to Game Pass. I'm not sure, but that one looked really cool. But I didn't put it on this list because I'm only focused on the big ones, the really big ones. So Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, February 11th. Civilization 7, also on February 11th. So father of 4X strategy, all these things, you know, you can lose a lot of time playing that game. Same day as Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Oh, but wait. 3 days later. Oh, you remember that little game, Assassin's Creed Shadows, was pushed back and delayed?
Yeah.
On Valentine's Day, Assassin's Creed Shadows drops on February 14th.
Such a great idea to put Avowed around this time. Great idea.
But hey, we're already up to our knees in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Civilization 7, and Assassin's Creed Shadows. Oh, but what's here 4 days after Assassin's Creed Shadows on the 18th of February? Avowed, right in the middle of the month. Or towards, I guess, is beginning of the last third of the month, I guess you could say. Avowed, February 18th. Oh, but and that's another. What I'm getting at also is the scope of these games. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a massive game.
Yeah.
Civ 7, you could play for 1,000,000 hours and still not be done with it if you wanted to. Assassin's Creed Shadows, you think that's going to be a small game? No.
Probably 80 plus.
Yeah, it's like somewhere between Origins and Odyssey, supposedly. Those are both big games.
Yeah.
I didn't beat any of those.
Avowed is going to be a solid size game as well. Then you got Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, which looks like they've actually black flagged better than or Skull and Bones better than Skull and Bones in a Yakuza game.
I'll be there day one.
That's only 3 days after Avowed. Remember, February is a smaller month also, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, just a week after that on February 28th, maybe the biggest monster of them all because of how successful this demo was that just released. And it was so good. Steel Rain staked his future career on this game now. It's like he's like, hey, I'm gonna be streaming Monster Hunter, all this stuff. Like he's all in on this, man. I love it, dude. A shout out to Steel. But yeah, it's awesome that he's gonna be paying so much attention to Monster Hunter. He's gonna be streaming it on their channels and stuff, and doing so much But yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds, February 28th. And that's just
Ridiculous.
a little game, maybe just a little game, you know? So between the 11th and the 28th, which is 17 days, a little over 2 weeks time span, we're getting all those games. I almost can guarantee you that's not going to end up happening. Something is going to be moved. I don't know what it's going to be.
It's
but
like
I wouldn't be
that
surprised if it's more than
scene
one.
where a lot of people are aiming guns at each other. Like,
Yeah.
You go first.
Make your move.
Make
Yeah.
your move. Yeah.
Like, I don't want Avowed to be delayed. We've been waiting on that game.
They should
a long time.
undelay Avowed.
Right, if they were ready, but they don't want to. Hey, we gave you more time. Just make it as awesome as possible. Oh, sorry, we can't give you that more time anymore. You know, yeah.
Better finish before the end of the week.
Yep. It's like actually that actually happened with that one game from Schofield something. Did that horror game? It's like Dead Space. They were actually supposed to have more time. They were like, actually, you got like a couple months. Good luck. So.
Oh, Callisto Protocol.
Yeah, Callisto Protocol.
Yeah.
A lot of awesome games February, you know.
I think isn't Atom Fall February also?
Is that?
Would not be surprised.
Oh, I may have left Atom Fall off.
That's March.
Okay. March
So,
what?
not-
First?
It just says March 2025. Let me see. Unless that moved. Yeah, it just says March 2025. No one's given a date.
Yeah. How about March 31st? Give me some time, right?
Imagine it's like March 2nd.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just it's so packed. Like it happens almost every year though. We get this like jam-packed after holiday season time period.
Yeah. Mav, if you had to delete all those games from existence and you only could play one.
Oh man. Why are you doing this to me?
Which one?
This is like an extreme version of Kill It that we used to do on XP.
You delete it from existence. Which one would you play?
Oh man, it's really tough. But I most out of all of this, I've been most eager to play Avowed. So I would probably go with that one. Just because I've been waiting for Obsidian's first big game under Xbox, and it's my style of game too. I love the fantasy medieval setting, more fantasy based with these kind of RPGs. It's set in the Pillars universe, which I like Pillars. I
don't know too much about the universe, but a lot of people
it can be
like
pretty dark, bro.
Oh yeah,
it's like traditionally a CRPG, right? So, but it's playable on consoles, so you could give it a go, or you can play it on your PC. But yeah, it's Pillars 2, Deadfire, I think is, if I'm right. It's just really, really good. It's like it's not like a Baldur's Gate 3 as far as production value and stuff. You know, it was lesser budget there, but like the core mechanics and roots of what make a great CRPG are all there on both of those games.
Nice.
So,
okay. Yeah, I agree.
This takes place in the same universe, but telling another story. It's a lot lighter themed than like you play Pillars. I mean, one of the first things you see is a bunch of dead bodies hanging from trees.
No, like Diablo vibes.
Yeah, I mean it's dark, So, I mean, gruesome too, bro. Like, but it's great. But I just want to see Obsidian's take now that this is kind of like, they did Outer Worlds, right? That was under Private Division when that was published as an indie game.
Private Division.
Yeah, well, supposedly not Microsoft, so because of the article that Windows Central wrote, but it could be anybody. But Private Division is doesn't really have a whole lot on their.
Think Sony bought them?
I don't know what the point of that would be. Honestly, I mean, I was surprised because like you look at Private Division and the big game that they have right now is No Rest for the Wicked that's upcoming. But the other, which is Take-Two, kept that. So the supposedly 5 games went along for the ride, but I guess maybe they haven't been announced yet. I don't know. Right? But Obsidian made Outer Worlds. It was published by Private Division, but they own the right. Obsidian owned the rights to Outer Worlds, so Microsoft owns the rights to Outer Worlds, but Private Division had the publishing rights to the first game, right? If that makes sense. And so that nothing really changes there, like at all. It doesn't seem like. Xbox publishes Outer Worlds 2. They own the IP, you know. And so I don't know like what you're getting with Private Division. There was an interesting thing going with the wiki that I read about Private Division is they have supposedly they're publishing a game from Game Freak. And it's like an action adventure game or something. I don't know anything more than that. It's just what it says on Wikipedia. So
I don't know much about Private Division now that I think about it.
Yeah. Private Division was owned by Take-Two. They were kind of an offshoot from them to publish smaller games. They did like Ollie Ollie. And that same studio did another Rollerdrome.
Yeah.
But that studio was closed. So you don't get any publishing on those games because that studio doesn't even exist because those are kind of special for that studio, you would think, right? So I don't really know what the benefit of Private Division is. So it has to be something upcoming that we don't know about.
Yeah, because what they're not developing the games
Unless
they're
you just want their
helping it come to
publishing.
market.
Yeah, unless it's like it's a publisher that wants publishing help that needs publishing experience, right? So maybe you could look at somebody like Amazon or like Apple or Netflix, you know, like, hey, we need to figure out more of the publishing side and working with these different developers, and they know that Private Division has relationships and all these kind of things, and they're looking to grow their publishing side, and they get a couple of things along the way as well. But I don't know. I'm trying to think outside the box a little bit.
Yeah,
But
and Brett Bingham said maybe Nintendo.
Yeah, that was the other one, Brett, because of the game that is in Wiki. That's a Project something. I can't remember the name of the project, but it says the developer's Game Freak, which they're the makers of the Pokemon franchise for Nintendo, right? So, but it's an action adventure game. It says published by Private Division. So who knows what that could be? But maybe Nintendo wanted it.
Yeah,
That'll be interesting. I mean, publishers, they're cool, I guess, but they don't do much for me.
Yeah, it's more exciting when you have like, hey, this publisher owns all these studios and all these IPs.
Yeah.
But, you know, Private Division doesn't, because Take-Two was really the owner of a lot of them. And even then, like, Private Division just had the publishing rights to those existing. They didn't really like buy IP, you know?
Yeah. It's like, let's say Xbox Japan was sold off. You're like, okay, what are they?
Right. Or like a good example would be like, well, I don't know if that's a good example, but like, you know, EA Originals, right? And how they help indie developers, and you know, they help them to publish their games and do all that kind of stuff. It would be almost like that, but I don't know if EA ends up owning the IPs and in those deals, or if they stay with the creators, right? Like I don't know if Hazelight owns It Takes Two, or if EA owns the rights to It Takes Two.
Good question.
Yeah, I don't know. That game sold very well too.
Yeah.
Maybe like if you make a deal with, I'm sure like EA has pretty strict stuff like, we'll help you get your game to market and market and stuff. We'll take a percentage of all sales, and we own your rights temporarily for a couple of years. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, you never know with these deals. I mean, like, hey, Death Stranding's on Xbox now, and Sony actually owned the IP.
But if I was
5
Hideo,
years, you know,
like after what happened with him at Konami, where he basically got screwed over by Konami, I would have every contract after that, I've been like, listen, I was in a crazy relationship with Konami. I will help you here. However, I'm not signing anything where this is permanent. That's what I would do, honestly, because Konami basically, that would give me PTSD of every deal going forward. So that kind of made sense to me.
Right.
But then you got like no, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say shout out to Views on You. Said, hey, first timer here. I got recommended this channel on YouTube, and I recognize Fuzzy from Boom's channel, or probably 10 other channels as well. Fuzzy makes the rounds. So I decided to take a peek. I love what I'm hearing. Great show. Gained us up. Hey, appreciate it, man. It's awesome to know that. Hey, YouTube actually recommended us to somebody. That's awesome. But thanks for stopping by. And everybody else in the chat, you guys rock. What were you saying, 3-Bit?
I don't remember.
Okay, that's fine. We can move on.
I lost my train.
Hey, speaking of train, 3-Bit.
Mm-hmm.
earlier I had just gifted the chat like 5 memberships, right?
Yeah.
Just for the heck of it. Actually, YouTube allows me to do that a couple times a month, right? But we need a choo-choo motherfuckers for that. So I'm gonna play it. Here we go. Choo-choo.
I'm the conductor. This is fun. Choo-choo, choo-choo.
Fuck, 3-Bit, you ruined everything. That wasn't the right one. What happened?
I did not see that coming. Yeah, I can explain. I was I don't know. I just things happen, I guess.
I'm gonna try to play the right one. Sorry, guys.
I'm the conductor. This is fun. Choo-choo, choo-choo.
Fuck, man, why is this
that today? Look at that picture. Am I wearing the same shirt?
Are you wearing the same shirt? I don't know. We gotta see.
I couldn't tell.
I'm the conductor. This is fun. Choo-choo, choo-choo.
No, okay. I'm wearing a different
shirt.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
I did not see that coming.
Man, I think your ghost of your PC crept into mine. I don't know what the hell's going on, dude. Anyway, here's the right one. Choo-choo, motherfucker.
Choo-choo! Ha 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 ha.
There we go. Sorry, I meant to send that one instead.
Okay. Ruin everything, man.
Oh my gosh, I did not see that coming. That was crazy.
Well, speaking of February, we also have other games actually releasing sooner than that. And that leads me to our next segment where we look ahead at the games releasing for the week. All right, so we're going to take a look at the releases for this week. Last week was okay.
Yeah.
This week might be a little better.
This one is it's got some highlights, but there's some strange ones on here. I'll just let you know in advance.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I still need to do my damn premium membership again. There we go. The Jackal. Hey, check it out. It's on Peacock.
Yeah.
All right,
here we
this
go.
is
Oh shit. My bad. Here we go. Which one am I on? Which one are we
should
starting
be
with?
Everhome.
Yeah,
Okay.
the top.
Why is it doing this? Okay, there we go. I'm on it.
All right. This comes out. Well, basically, it came out today for $17.99 on PC. Just PC for now.
Just PC? Okay.
Yeah.
They're calling you 3-Dist in the chat.
3-Dist now. Oh man, I gotta get started on that rap track, huh? I gotta make a cheese seal.
It's got more interesting now after seeing this part.
Yeah, what the heck? I thought this would just be a simple farming game.
Everhome. Cool.
Rated E for everyone.
That was surprising. Wow, as soon as I said a simple farming game, farming simulator.
Yeah. It's the season of farming games. What? How many? Does anybody in the chat play farming simulator games? I mean, this franchise has been going on for a while.
Yeah.
I think I tried it 1 year just for like gamer score and stuff. It's pretty cool, but it can be somewhat confusing on some stuff. Like once you get past like the tutorial, like trying to make a lot of money so you can buy the bigger, farm equipment and stuff like that. I kind of got in over my head. But Farming Simulator 25 coming to PS5, Series X and S, PC, and Mac this Tuesday for $59.99.
I love game adaptions. Show us some manly games.
Hey, don't blame me. Blame the publishers.
Yeah, these are games that are coming out this week. You don't want to play no farming sims? Yeehaw!
This isn't just any farming simulator. We're gonna farm in a tornado. We got twisters here in this motherfucker. Is it manly enough for you now? Is it manly enough? We got twisters here. It's gonna blow your fucking balls off, everybody. Won't be fair.
There goes the farm.
You gotta farm in
Is that a cow?
tornado.
Did I see a cow next to me?
Is that Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton flying through the air? What the fuck was that?
Oh man. Oh, the devastation after.
Gotta re-go the trees.
Gotta rebuild.
Still
Cows
got your
made
New
it.
Holland tractor.
It's a games with boobs and bums.
Oh my god.
Looks.
I will say the
enthralling.
grass looks really good in this game.
Yeah.
I guess it kind of has to.
Oh.
Goat. Goat Simulator spinoff confirmed. Cool. Is that on Game Pass? Farming Sim. Also, Arcane is on Netflix. Season 2.
Yeah.
Recommended.
All right. This is Void Souls. Only coming to PC at the moment. This Tuesday for $19.99.
Are you playing as like as an arrow?
Yeah, it's like Geometry Wars roguelike.
Mm-hmm.
James wants a Spyro trilogy is on Game Pass right now. Yeah, that was announced today too.
Yeah.
Spyro trilogy, surprise, hits Game Pass.
I wonder if at the Game Awards they'll announce like a bunch of games going to Game Pass, like the Activision library, or if they will save that for later.
Well, now that I guess, PlayStation has no more obligations to look forward to from their marketing contract, maybe all the Call of Duties now start coming to Game Pass.
Yeah, I wonder when because they could like hold out for that just for like good press. I just wonder when they want to do that. This actually looks really fun.
Yeah.
Is this co-op?
Nah, I think it's just single player. I might be wrong though. 'Cause I think it's
Void
just
Souls.
single.
I like it. Play as an arrow.
Right on.
Anton Blast coming to Switch and PC this Tuesday for $29.99.
Okay. Platformer, runner.
What's the system for this was?
Oh, just PC and Switch.
Is this
Looks fun. It kind of reminds me if they made a Tasmanian Devil game, basically.
Yeah,
Just tear through stuff.
Sorry about that.
Looks fun. I just don't. I guess I don't like the art style, but it looks really fun.
Take a screenshot. It'll last longer.
Okay. All right, pal.
Dang.
All right, this is The Rise of the Golden Idol. Coming to PS4, PS5,
Oh,
Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, and PC this Tuesday. Retail price is $19.99.
a little morbid.
This is basically more detailed, like Ace Attorney.
Yeah, you get to investigate the crime scene and do an autopsy and
The faces are interesting looking. Like garbage pail kids grown up.
I like the music.
it kind of reminds me sometimes of when they do like the zoomed in shots for Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, it's kind of that gross kind of style.
The best way to burn
Like
fat
getting
is to
cake.
Best way to burn
not
fat.
keto.
yeah.
On Mira, teams work
All right, here we go.
All right.
Next one.
Tetris Forever coming to PS4, PS5,
Shades.
Xbox One,
It's
Series
too
X
much to
and
remember.
S, Switch and PC this
decided that
Tuesday
I should
for
downsize
$29.74.
So if
Normal
I
retails
introduce
$34.99. But
Then I have just
apparently
5
all the
pieces.
stores have it on sale for $29.74.
That's how Tetris was born.
No, I didn't have the rights. I said, I'm going to go to the Soviet Union and get those rights.
How many ways can we re-release?
I
Tetris?
believe that Tetris will be here forever.
I really like
Have one of
Tetris
the greatest
Effect.
games in the history of
Yeah.
computer
That's
games.
for me. I think that may be like the
Alexei
best.
really created the perfect game.
Yeah, that game is amazing.
2 weeks in a row, I did nothing but play.
So this game has this like battle mode where you can send your opponents into the past. Interesting mechanics.
Tetris
That's
is
like.
inclusive and it appeals to everyone.
Every place was sold out, and every place was clamoring for more.
You guys ever watched the
We're always
Tetris
trying to
movie?
figure out what is the best way to keep
I haven't
the
seen it
core
yet. That was on
game
Apple
from
TV. I
Tetris.
remember when it came out.
Yeah, it kind of talks about like the guy
Nobody
fighting
thought this
for the
game was
right
gonna last
to
forever.
the political implications of Tetris. And it's pretty interesting. You guys should check it out.
It has Taron
All right,
Egerton.
this one's definitely a weird one. Is this,
Castle
is this, I can't even talk. Is this game trying to kill me? Is the name of this game coming to PC this Wednesday for $29.99.
Oh, okay.
What the heck? Is this like... Oh, it's kind of like Freddy's. Where... Oh, interesting.
Ow.
I wrote you the head.
Ah, okay, yeah, so it's kind of like Freddy's, like you're on a computer, you're trying to stop things from actually happening to you. That's cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is a good one.
Yeah. Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D Remaster coming to PS5, Series X and S, Switch, and PC this Thursday for $59.99.
Yeah, it looks so good, bro. Like this is a remake, I think, right?
Yeah.
Journey with allies.
Wow, these graphics
to
are
face the arch-fiend
beautiful.
on an epic adventure. Memorable encounters.
It's like takes me
Perplexing
back, you know,
challenges.
JRPGs of old.
and formidable monsters
I love
await.
this style. I never played the
An
original Dragon
iconic
Quest.
RPG remade in HD 2D. Forge your own path.
Garfinkel says
The legacy.
these games look like I played them on my Sega Genesis. Yeah, a lot of that this week for sure. Like retro indie stuff, but like this one looks better than
Dragon
that.
Quest 3
This is
HD
probably the
2D
highlight.
remake.
That HD 2D style,
Available
I
November
really like
14th.
it.
Another Square game launch day and date on Xbox.
It just released like a statement.
All right, this is definitely a weird one. Sorry, we're closed. Coming to PC this Thursday for $29.99.
The Duchess, come sit. Do you love me yet? What is this?
Sorry, we're closed.
Victim, I am the system. I'm not in the wrong with my infinite wisdom. Follow my words, even if I contradict them. It's my house, Michelle. I'll be the one to evict them. Don't want another demon past the ones within my mind. And it's with that resolution that I'll kill you every time. Change is meaningless when it gets too
Like
close.
the medium.
Two
worlds that exist at once.
What we are going up and down like a seesaw. Got me going along for the ride, got me going yeehaw. Time flies when you having fun, I can't even see y'all. Time flies cause I'm having fun, I can't even see y'all. Back and forth, 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 back and forth. I can't help but teeter the scale. Can't help that I want to see you prevail.
Visuals are awful, but I'm liking this song.
It sounds like it's an original for the game too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to Shazam it just to make sure. I'm like, nope, it's part of the soundtrack.
Wow.
Or it's really, really, really underground.
Got me going along for the ride, got me going yeehaw. Time flies when you having fun, I can't even see y'all.
Better be in the actual game. Or playing the game.
Back and forth, back and forth, back
Yo, what the heck is
The Duchess.
back and forth, back and forth.
Sorry,
It
we're
seems
closed.
like,
Back and forth.
so it seems like they're going for that silent PS1 aesthetic.
You fell
Let's
right
go.
into my trap. It
This
was
is
too
Little Big
easy.
Adventure,
How naive.
Twinson's Quest, coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, and PC for $29.99 this Thursday.
Follow us.
Void Rat says, "What show is this? This is just something we do every week on the end of FSP. We look ahead at the games releasing for this week. So these are just games coming out this week."
My name is Twinson. Does that sound familiar to you?
I can't believe it. You
Sometimes we
said
find
it
games
out
that's like,
after
"Oh, I
all.
forgot about that." That's
We'll find
really
Luna.
good.
I haven't heard of like
Where
maybe
is my
Almost all
sister?
these games.
Yeah.
This week's the odd one.
Little Big Adventure.
This would have been a great week for Avowed. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have killed it this week.
Oh my gosh, Avowed. Why?
Oh, here we go.
A new
Lego
Adventures
Horizon
on the
Adventures
horizon.
coming to PS5, Switch,
world of
and
Horizon
PC this
in Lego
Thursday for
form.
$59.99.
Join Machine Hunter Aloy on a quest to save the world from an ancient evil. Journey through lush landscapes.
Game of the year contender,
Dive
guys. You think?
deep into the cauldrons. Climb up on the tops and traverse other locations
It's
inspired by
possible,
the original
but
game.
I
Be careful.
I don't know. A
Swarms
Lego
of machines
game.
are lurking everywhere. Use an array of gadgets like
Lego
blast
games are
boots
really
and
fun.
gravity
Though their
bombs
Star
to hunt
Wars
'em
ones
down.
are pretty cool.
From the nimble
The next
watchers
question. This is launching day and date on the Switch.
mighty
Do we ever
sawtooths.
think there's a day that this actually
You
comes
might
out
even
on
come across
Xbox
the
as well?
fearsome Thunderjaw.
It honestly makes no sense that it's not on
As you
Xbox
progress,
already besides
you can help
petty.
Aloy rebuild her home.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Customize her
Like, it
appearance with
literally
lots
makes
of
no sense.
outfits.
But
Oh, and you don't have to explore
maybe?
this vast wilderness alone. Team up with
I think
they'll
I
wait.
wait to see how well this does on
Horizon and
Switch
two-player
compared to
local and online
PS5.
co-op.
I get the feeling that this won't sell on
Lego Horizon
PS5
Adventures
and it will
launches
sell
on
like
Nintendo
gangbusters on
this
Switch.
holiday.
Probably. Yeah.
And that's it
that
for
was
the
it for the
Games
week.
rated E.
All right. So that was an interesting week. Um,
What was the highlight of that? I would say maybe Dragon Quest actually.
yeah, the Dragon Quest
Surprised.
HD 2D remake for sure is a highlight for me. About
same
you,
for me.
Fuzz?
As crazy as the visuals were, Sorry We're Closed looks kind of weirdly interesting.
You want to be chased by the Duchess. That's what it is. You want to be chased by that
It did have,
polygonal
like, a cool style.
chainsaw arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Bring
little
bondage.
off style, but it was unique. I'll give it that.
I mean, Void Souls and Tetris were kind of like the ones I'll probably wind up picking up because they look perfect for like Steam Deck stuff. So
Yeah, so those kind of games could be great. You know, like just pick up and play like casually, like occasionally, just when you're chilling. Sometimes, you know, in bed or whatever, you got a movie on. Hey, I'll just fuck around with this thing for a little while, right? Yeah, man. Overall, it's a okay week. I mean, this is definitely one of the lesser weeks of the year for tidbits that we've had, which it's almost mid-November, which is kind of strange, right? But next week will be, I think, pretty good. So, but yeah, chat. This was a fun show, everybody. I want to thank you all for hanging out tonight for FSP 122, and we had a good time. Everybody here is awesome. I love the dialogue. Everybody just shoot the shit, hanging out, and talking games. That's what it's all about. But Fuzzy Belvedere, tell everybody the million places they can find your rambles and rants, sir.
man, this was awesome doing this with you guys tonight. Always love talking games with you guys and just chilling, just having fun, and looking forward to what's coming to our preferred platform here in the next few weeks. Definitely going to be doing a lot of flight sim. But for those that want to hear my rambles and rants on anything gaming related, just follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter, as well as social media like Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, pretty much everywhere but Facebook. Just search for Fuzzy_Belvedere or Fuzzy Belvedere, all one word. You'll be able to find me. You can also find me on Xbox Lunch Break Special Friday morning. Oh, no, not Lunch Break Special. Sorry. Xbox Breakfast with Boom on Double Barrel Gaming or Mr. Boomstick's channel, Friday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're into horror, you can also find me on Fright Night with Ferocious Fee this coming Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be talking about a fan-made film in reference to Nightmare on Elm Street. So definitely check that out. And then later that night, for Xbox Ultimate right here on this same channel, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see all you guys from the chat there as well. Thanks again.
Thanks, Fuzz. Appreciate you, bro, as always. 3-bit. Besides ruining things, messing up my choo-choo videos and stuff like that, what else you got going on? Where can people find you?
Besides the trains, people can find me on Blue Sky now. Blue Sky, it's the same i3bit. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter as well, it is i3bit. I am on YouTube for Pixelated Echoes every Sunday right here with Fuzzy Belvedere. We do it every Sunday, and of course back here. So a couple new people jumped in today. So we do the show every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So check out future episodes. We are on 122. Is it 122, right?
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
That's insane, dude.
Because this was the last show that we actually started on the channel.
Because we had Fun Pop, Xbox Ultimate was first, and then what was it? What was it?
Fun Pop was second. Then PM and the PM.
Oh yeah, PM.
And then we started FSP. And we're running 4 shows for a while, but we went back down to 3. But
Insane.
Yeah, I mean, this was the last one we started, like, and we didn't start it for like a good year and a half or so. Like, it seemed like after the others, maybe, or
Yeah.
but yeah, this is like
Yeah, I wasn't on the first episode of this show, but eventually I came on maybe like episode 5 or something of this. So
yeah,
insane, awesome journey. Everybody in chat, you guys are awesome. Appreciate you guys. The 3 faults in the chat. Appreciate you all for coming on in, and we'll see you guys in the next show. A lot of cool stuff coming up. So excited time to be a gamer for
yeah.
sure. So
Indiana Jones coming. We got Stalker 2 coming. We got 148 gigabytes of it. You got Flight Sim, which is probably going to be around that same amount. I don't know how big the first one is, but it's over 100, I think. Right. But anyway, everybody have a good one. Check out on audio if you like the shows on audio platforms over on the Fun Speculation there. Hey, share it out, and if you leave a review, it greatly helps people find us. If you're watching here in the chat, hey, hit the like button, share it out, notification bell, sub, all that kind of stuff. It greatly helps people find us and helps, like Views on You said, helps YouTube recommend us to more people. So appreciate anybody who ever stops through and checks us out. But we got, like these guys said, we got more shows coming this week. We got PM in the PM on Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern time with Pong Soul and I. Friday is Xbox Ultimate Podcast at 9 p.m. Eastern time here, where we go all in on Xbox. We have a lot to look forward to for the week ahead for that. But then also, hey, game streams and random other stuff. Sometimes you'll catch some solo streams and stuff. We're just talking about games with you guys. But yeah, go check out a stream last night. We played some Call of Duty. And there's a little YouTube short. I posted a clip actually today of gameplay. I don't usually do that because I don't want to see you guys see snippets of my horrible play. But there was a run where there was pretty good. So I put it.
Yeah, I seen you like peeking through that window. You pretty good.
Got it.
Yeah.
Anyway, hope y'all have a good one. Take it easy, everybody. Peace out.
Bye.
Where? Oh, there you go.